Hello and welcome. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy life to practice peace. Whatever we're feeling, whatever emotions we have going on within ourselves, we radiate those emotions out. It's called emotional contagion. And you may know what it's like to be around someone who is angry or frustrated. But we can also radiate out our peace. So when we take the time to cultivate that calmness and that peace within ourselves, we share that peace with the people around us, with our family, our friends, our coworkers, and our community. So one way that we can be part of spreading peace in the world is by first being peaceful within ourselves. So we're going to spend 30 minutes and we're going to practice cultivating some peace within ourselves. 30 minutes is not all that long. And I would invite you before we begin to, first of all, set aside whatever is going on in your busy life, things you're thinking about, things you're worrying about, things that are on your mind. Let's set those down. You can pick them up later if you feel so inclined. And for the next 30 minutes, let's focus on some focused, intentional self-care. And as you begin to tune in to yourself and into this moment, I would ask you to consider how you're feeling. How peaceful are you coming into our gathering today? And as in the past, I will invite you to, if you feel so inclined, assign a number to that on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being totally zen and 10 being just about as unpeaceful as you get. And I have a rating scale. You've seen it before. It's very common to those pain scales that they use when you're in the hospital or you go to visit the doctor. And just think about what number you would give your peacefulness now. And we'll come back and revisit that before we end. As you come into this moment, begin to focus on your breathing. Slow your breathing down. Begin to focus on inhales that are complete and full, and letting all that air go as you exhale. And it may be helpful to rest one hand over your abdomen so that when you inhale, you feel your hand move. You know you're taking a nice, full inhale. And as you exhale, you feel your abdomen sinking back towards your spine. We're going to come back and do some more focused breathing. But before we do that, I would invite you to massage your lymphatic reflexes. Oh, what does that mean? We're going to start by finding where your collarbone is and drop down below your collarbone in that space there. And just use your fingers to press in and make little circles going from the center out towards your arms. And then coming back again, drop down between the ribs, pressing in and making little circles. Now you might find an area that's particularly tender. And if you do, that's not unusual. That means this is a good exercise for you to be doing right now, because that indicates there's some congestion, some energetic congestion, and we want to massage it and get that energy flowing again. Working all the way out to our arms and then dropping down again and massaging out. Now, one place that can be particularly tender, at least it is for me, is the area where the arm meets the body. So I'm going to take 3 fingers and I'm just going to push down in there and really massage. Now, you don't want to hurt yourself, but like I said, if you find an area that's tender, that may need some attention. And then we'll do it on the other side. I always feel like this really kind of gets my energy going, wakes my body up. Okay, so next I'm going to invite you to take one hand and rest it on the opposite shoulder. Push in and drag that hand across your body down to the hip on the other side. And then repeat using the other hand going the other direction. This helps to balance the energies flowing in our body. Sometimes we can get a little lopsided, and this helps restore that flow so that it's even on both sides. I'm putting my hand on my shoulder, I'm pressing in, and then I'm dragging my hand across all the way to the hip bone on the other side. Okay, last time. Oh, I hope that felt as good for you as it did for me. Okay, next we're going to practice something called alternate nostril breathing. And this also helps with balancing the energy, particularly the flow in our brain. I'm going to take my glasses off for this because they can get in the way. And we're going to start by taking your index finger and your middle finger, and you're going to rest them between your eyebrows. Just right there, just resting them. And then we're going to take the thumb and rest it on one nostril, like that, and the ring finger and rest it over the nostril on the other side. Right now, I'm just resting them on my nostrils. I'll give you a moment to find that position and get your hands in so they're comfortable. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use our thumb to press closed the nostril on that side and inhale through the nostril that's open. Now I'm going to use my ring finger to close off that nostril. Release the thumb and exhale. Inhale through that same side. Close off with the thumb. Release the ring finger and exhale. Inhale. Close. 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 And exhale. Remove your hand and just breathe normally. How does that feel? Mm. All right. Well, next we're going to do some grounding. We've done that before. I would invite you to begin by rubbing your hands together and shaking them off and rubbing them together some more, allowing the heat to build. The best way to do grounding is outside, barefoot. If you think about how it feels to walk barefoot on the beach, there's a reason it feels so good. We are meant to be in contact with the earth. There's negative ions near the surface of the earth that help to balance free radicals in the body. But we are very rarely in direct contact with the earth. We live in buildings, we walk on asphalt, and when we do go out and walk in the grass, we have on shoes with rubber soles, which insulate us. But we're going to practice grounding intentionally, and with practice, that's very effective. It's not quite as good as going outside for a barefoot walk, but it's the next best thing. So I'm going to invite you to take your palms and just rest them on your thighs. And feel the warmth from your palms begin to spread through your legs. And I want you to focus on letting that warmth drift down your legs to your feet, bringing all your attention to the bottoms of your feet. If possible, resting your feet flat on the floor. We have an energy center on the sole of our foot. Sometimes if you concentrate, you may feel a spinning sensation there, but it's okay if you don't. This will still work. In a moment, with our next exhale, we're going to begin to drop roots down from the bottom of each foot. Imagine those roots extending through the floor of the building you're in, down through the foundation, and down into the earth. Think about what the earth feels like. It's been raining here today, so for me, the earth feels very moist, damp. And as you continue to breathe, allow those roots to extend even farther, branching through the earth, past roots of trees and other plants, down through that subterranean network. And feel your roots extending past underground streams, past crystals forming in the darkness, and all the way down to the center of the earth. It's very hot there. And with your next inhale, pull the energy of the earth back up your roots, up through the earth and the dirt and the foundation and the floor and into your feet. And feel your feet getting warm. And with your next inhale, pull that warmth up even higher into the vicinity of your heart. Take a moment to scan your body. Where are you holding tension? Maybe in your face, maybe in your shoulders, maybe in your temples, maybe in your gut. Allow that tension to flow down your roots. Let it go. Release it Allow it to return to the earth. And let's spend a few moments as you inhale, feeling the energy of the earth, this planet that sustains all life, coming up your roots and into your heart. And as you exhale, soften. Allow anything that's causing tension or tightness to melt away and flow down your roots. With practice, you can ground yourself intentionally anytime, anywhere, very quickly. I find it helpful if I notice myself getting anxious, angry, tense, feeling judgmental, to focus on just releasing that down my roots, letting it go. I think along with breathing, intentional grounding is one of the most powerful things that we can do for our self-care. As we practice this, I want to speak for a few moments about what I call the difference between caring and carrying. There is an awful lot of distressing news these days. There are so many videos and photos bombarding us through email, through social media, through the news. Images of suffering, images of destruction. And as humans, it is appropriate for us to care about that, for us to care about the people who are affected, for us to care about the suffering. And when we care about others, we are tapping into emotions like love and compassion and empathy. But there can be a thin line between empathizing and crossing over into taking on those emotions that we imagine those people must be feeling, or trying to feel on their behalf. And that can bleed into emotions like fear, grief, anger. And these emotions are not good for us. Those emotions affect the cells in our body. They contribute to diseases. They inhibit our immune functioning. They interfere with our digestion. They interfere with our body's ability to rejuvenate. They also interfere with our ability to problem solve. So when we allow caring to cross over into carrying, we're creating an unnecessary burden for ourselves. And we may feel like, well, we should carry. But I would remind you that you can't carry anyone else's burdens. Getting angry or fearful or experiencing grief does not lessen their load. And as we talked about earlier, our emotions are contagious. So if we're allowing ourselves to walk around radiating anger, fear, grief, we're spreading that to the people around us, our family, our friends, our coworkers, our community, when what we want to radiate is peace, love, compassion, and empathy. So I would invite you to consider that as you think about how you're affected by the images that you see, the destruction and the suffering. And challenge yourself. Am I caring or am I carrying? And now what I'd like us to do is, with this energy that we have accumulated in our heart, let's add to that just a little bit and create an energetic shield to protect us from taking on that which is not ours to carry. And as we build this shield, keep in mind that we are not shielding ourselves from feeling, caring, love, compassion. Our shield does not protect us from caring. Our shield protects us from carrying. So let's move our hands so that they are above our heads, with our palms facing upward. And imagine a stream of white protective light flowing down from the cosmos, flowing down like a waterfall, flowing down into our palms. And as we separate our palms and pull them down around our body, we are spreading that white light of protection all around us, like a cocoon. Encasing ourselves in a capsule of pure white light, pure positive energy. And inside this cocoon, we're filling it with the energy that we accumulated in our heart, so that we can leave this gathering continuing to carry our peace and hold it close. And now I would invite you to reconsider how peaceful you feel. Revisit that number that you picked at the beginning. Has it shifted? And I would also invite you to practice peace between sessions. These live sessions are recorded. They're on the YouTube channel. They're only 30 minutes long or less. You can play them back at any time. You deserve 30 minutes every day to practice peace. If you're interested in learning some other techniques like what we practiced this evening, I have techniques in my book, 8 Intentions for Self-Healing. The book also talks about how to make energetic self-care a daily practice in your life. And on my website, carolynpitts.com, I have a companion document for 8 intentions. The techniques that are talked about in the book, I describe step-by-step how to do them, but I think it's a lot easier to practice with a video. So there are videos for all the techniques that I teach in the book. And in the companion document, there's a page that has links to all of the hyperlinks to all of those videos so you can practice along. Again, this is free on my website, and you don't need to have the book to download the companion. I thank you for your time and for practicing peace with me. I love you. Have a beautiful week. And remember to intend peace, intend love, and intend well.